You're listening to Storage Nerds Podcast, where we unravel the best-kept secret of the real estate investing world, the storage industry. Join the grassroots guru in self-storage, Stacy Rosetti, in insightful discussions about finding, funding, and running these spaces, allowing you to yield the highest returns possible. Get your foot in the door on self-storage and discover how to properly purchase facilities, negotiate with sellers, and close the deal without worries. Start unpacking that investment wisdom with Stacy right now.
Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome. Welcome to the party. How's everybody doing? Put in chat how you're doing. I see a lot of the same people coming in, listening in, and just wanted to check in, see how everybody's doing. Who here is a newbie and is like, who's this crazy person on the screen right now? And let me move my camera just a little bit so I'm in the center. Okay. Who's new? Who has a storage facility? You know, who's here just to listen to see like what this whole storage investing thing is about? Let me know in the chat, okay? And I'll say hi to everybody. I got lots of people saying hi. So let's see. Okay. And good. That's Sadie from London. So hi, Sadie. So tell us about yourself. Tell us about the storage investing world in the chat in London, in the UK. Is it like as nuts as it is here in the United States? Very interesting topic, I would say. And okay, so Yukiko is here. So hi, Yukiko. And who else is here? Let me see. Oh, good. Yes. Okay. Alan said he saw me at Alan's webinar. Okay, good. Well, nice to meet you. Thank you for hanging out. Let's see. Who else is new here? We've got Joe Matthew. Nice to meet you, Joe. He's a newbie. I don't have anything but actively looking. Okay, cool. Nice. And who else is here? Myrna's new. Nice to meet you. And let's see. Who else? Eric is here. Hey, Eric, how are you? Good to talk to you. Good to see that you're back here again. I know you come often. Let's see. Eric is in California. Who else? I'm going through. Patty is here. Hi, Patty. I'm new and I want to buy my first. Okay, good. Well, welcome to the family. You're in the right place. And okay, good. And let's see who else is Sadie. Everybody's saying hi. Okay, good. Introduce yourself in the chat, because I like to get to know all my peeps, all my storage nerds. See, that's why I call my coaching program Storage Nerds. It's because we all like get together and we get to like talk shop, So and then for everybody here that is new, it's your first time here and you're trying to just like learn about self-storage investing, just welcome to the family. I have been teaching people how to invest in self-storage now for a couple of years. And I have been investing in self-storage for several years as well, too. We own 11 storage facilities all across Georgia and Florida. And we're looking to buy more, obviously. We're on our way to growing very fast. This week is, for us at least, I don't know about everybody else, but for us, we are in the Austin area right now. It is spring break, right? So my daughter Lillian is in spring break camp. She's in camp this week. And, everybody, you guys, if you follow me, you know that I do road schooling. I live in an RV and we road school Lillian. So we homeschool her on the road. And so she's like super excited because she gets to be in this camp this week. And I'm also very excited because I get to have the RV to myself because my husband is like, he has like a pass to Regis, the office, like the office spaces or whatever. So when we come to like these bigger cities and stuff, he's always like, I'm going to my office so he can get out, he could go work. He manages all of our storage facilities is what he does. So it's him. And then underneath him is our operations manager. Her name is Bonnie, our property manager, I guess. I don't know what to call her. Property manager. She's been working with us now for about 7 years. And underneath her, we have now a new hire, Stephanie, that's handling the phones. We're growing, we're hiring more people. So we've got phone support. We've got, and then we've got our boots on the ground people that go out and kind of manage our facilities. And we are growing. So we're in the process of like hiring like a lot of people, like, a lot of people to help us out and stuff, which is awesome. Right. So, and we got a lot of new things going on. One of the things that we have going on, which I'm really, really excited about, is launching our acquisitions company. So Chris, you guys, I don't, if some of you have met Chris before, some of you haven't, he's been on a couple of times on the Mondays. Chris is our acquisitions manager and he's doing really great. And so Chris and I are forming a company together, and we are going to be helping all of our students that are lifetime members in Storage Nerds. And we're going to be implementing that as of May 1st. Basically, our acquisitions team, you can hire our acquisitions team to find facilities for you. So today, the topic is 15 ways to find storage facilities. And, and so I wanted to just say the first one would be, you could always become a student of Storage Nerds and become a lifetime member, and then hire my team to do all the work for you. So that is going to be one of the things that we implement, because the truth is that like, I want all my students in the coaching program to be successful. And, sometimes people just get like super busy. Like we have one guy that he's in the coaching program and he rehabs houses, and he's rehabbing like a ridiculous amount of houses right now, but he wants to get out of that, right? Because obviously rehabbing is like active income. Like he has to be the one that manages his houses. I know, because I rehabbed a lot of houses, and he has to be there to manage his houses, and he don't want to do that anymore, right? But he just doesn't have the time to get out and look for the facilities. So he's basically relying on other people within the coaching program to find facilities, and he's willing to partner with them. Or now he has the option to like hire our acquisitions team, and then he can tell us what he wants and where he's looking, and then we will help him to find that facility for him. So anyways, that's one of the 15 ways. I want to just mention that as of May 1st, we are going to be implementing that. We're in the process of getting everything set up. We've hired other acquisitions managers and VAs, and we will probably be hiring more. We've been doing this now for a couple months and getting it all set up. And our VAs are doing amazing, right? So another way that you can find storage facilities is you can get your own VA to do it, right? You don't have to hire us, just hire a VA, right? Hire a virtual assistant to look for storage facilities for you. If you are finding that you are not, finding them, or you don't have enough time to get out and, drive for storage or talk to owners or do what you need to do in order to find them, essentially, and my whole philosophy in life is if I notice that I'm not getting it done and I know it needs to get done, no matter what it is, all that means is that I need to be hiring somebody to do that, right, for me. Okay, so in terms of my fund, right, the Self-Storage Fund of America, which I launched a couple of weeks ago. When I decided to do this fund, right, it just I was like, I'm going to start a fund, and I was in my mind, I was like, it's a great idea. And, but then I just couldn't I couldn't get it off the ground. I just couldn't do it. And it took me months and months and months to figure out that essentially I just needed to hire a consultant to help me to do it. Once I hired the consultant to help me to do it, it just took off, and we started actually getting stuff done, and I was productive, and it was all this work that had taken months and months and months for me to figure out how to do. The consultant was oh yeah, I could do this, and again, we'll be done in 90 days. And I was like, what? So my personal opinion is, if you notice that you're not getting stuff done as fast as you want to, you should just hire somebody to do it. And guess what? It ain't expensive. It ain't. You know what I'm saying? So like people have in this mind, there's two reasons why people don't hire other people to do the work for them. One of them is they have this fear of relinquishing this control, right? They feel like they are the expert and they can do it better. All right. And the truth of the matter is that that's what the expert is for, right? The experts are out there doing what they do because they know how to do it and they'll do it better than you. And I've really learned over the past, 10 years I've been investing in real estate that there ain't no way I can do all of it. That's for sure. And the truth is I want to do all of it. Right? I'm that type of person, so in order for me to be able to do all of it, then I have to hire people to help me to do that. And I want to be successful in life personally. That's just my personality. I want to be successful in what I'm doing. And I know what I'm good at. Basically what I'm good at is bossing people around and telling people what to do. I'm a director. That's really what I am. I'm an orchestra. Is it an orchestrator? What's the name of the person that does the music and orchestrates the music or whatever? So that's what I am. I'm the person that is this is my idea, here, go and implement it. All right. And everybody has their skills and stuff. Chris is very, very good. My acquisitions person, Chris, is phenomenal on the phones. He is so good on the phones. And I've had many owners tell me, look, I'm going to sell you this property because I really like Chris, so you need to be able to hire people to do the work that you don't want to do. Now, you may be like the conductor, maestro. Thank you very much. You may be the person in your team that does acquisitions well. You may be that person, and you may not be good at the management portion or whatever, but essentially figure out what you're good at. And then when you're not good at it, then hire somebody that's good at it to do it. And I tell my students this all the time. Just imagine your company. Imagine the company that you want, how do you want your company to look? What are the things that you want to be doing? And imagine if your company, if in the company that you have, if it's storage investing or whatever, imagine if the company that you had, that you were running, you were only doing the things that you loved. Right? And all the things that you didn't love doing, you could just delegate it to somebody else, right? Get somebody else to do it. Imagine what your company would look like, right? It would be just the most awesomest company ever, right? So in my mind, that's kind of my goal. I know I'm good at these things and I'm not good at these things. So those are the things I'm going to be delegating out and getting somebody that's good at to do those for me. Okay. So we're talking about today all the different ways that you can find properties. I've already been over two. One of them is you can, as of May 1st, come into the Storage Nerds coaching program, become a lifetime member, and then I will have an offer for us to find the facility for you. Okay. And then the other way is to hire a VA for yourself and train them to create lists. We have VAs internally in my company that what they do in order to find properties for us is they create lists by going on to Google Maps. So we are not buying lists right now. Another way that you can find property, right? Another way for you to find the property is to buy the list. But my VAs internally, they're creating the lists themselves, right? So why pay for a list when I could just hire somebody to do that for me? Now, which one is better? I don't know. 6 one way, half a dozen the other. It's just personality. I used to buy lists. And, I used to buy the list. And but now, I want these VAs to eventually become acquisitions managers. So in my mind, me training this VA to get out there and create the list and to really get out there and search and learn the nitty gritty of it, which is exactly what Chris did. When I hired Chris as my acquisitions person, I trained him to do what I did, which is exactly the same thing. I created my own lists. I went out driving for storage. I went out and talked to owners myself. I went out and like built my own lists up is what I did. And so this is how I trained Chris, and this is how I'm training our VAs, you know, and all the team as we grow and grow and grow. This is just kind of how we do it. But what you could do is you could buy the list. You could buy the list, and then you could you know, you could just get the list and you could mail out to it and do it. That's an easier way to do it, I guess. But I feel like you can really kind of, it's like the nitty gritty, like acquisitions part, when you can really dive in and really truly understand. Now, our VAs that we hired, essentially, they're just like, all they're doing right now is going onto Google Maps, and they are searching on Google Maps for storage facilities. And by just searching, right, searching, you know, storage in like a certain area. Okay, so for instance, let me just share my screen. Let me see. I'm going to share my screen. And we'll just tell them, like, I'll tell them like an area that I'm interested in. And, you know, even if it's like a certain area, and, you know, and then I'll say, this is the area, like, this is where you need to find all the different storage facilities in this area. So we can I'm in the Austin, like kind of Lake Travis area. So, right, if you went into storage and just did storage near me, right, you'd be able to find all the storage facilities coming up in the area, right? So now you can see all these storage facilities are all here, right? And then as you scroll over, you could always search different areas to see what comes up. And these are all the ones that essentially they're putting on their list, okay? And except for the ones that are hedge funds, like, where there's like a lot like CubeSmart and Extra Space and stuff like this. These we kind of leave off because we're not going to call them and try to buy, anything from them. But if it's a mom and pop shop, if there's only one, right? Like for instance, Granite Storage or Aladdin self-storage, you know what I'm saying? Like these types, right? These are all going to go onto my list or onto their list. And now also another thing I wanted to point out too was the further, like we're obviously not in the the Austin area, right? So this is going to be primary market right here. So we are going away from the primary market. And I would consider this whole area, because everybody knows the Austin area is like booming, I would consider this all secondary market. In fact, we're talking to a guy right now over in this area, and he really wants to sell his facility, but he wants like a 5 cap. Or even more, maybe even a 4 cap. I mean, and also we have facilities in the Georgia area. Let me show you. And over here in like the Georgia area and the Atlanta area. But like I was talking to a realtor from Marcus and Millichap just like maybe a couple weeks ago. And we have facilities kind of up in this area. And he was saying that these facilities in this area are going for a 4 cap right now. So the market is, very competitive. If you are going on, if you're talking to these big, huge facilities, or if you're going online and looking for facilities, if you look this area, let's see, storage near me. Right. Let's see. Let's get over here and maybe zoom in a little bit. Let's try this. If you're looking in this area, like all up in this area. Now, obviously the Atlanta area is this big, huge metropolitan, but everybody's moving like north. I mean, they're moving up into this area. Right. So this is why all this stuff like Donalega and all this area, this is all a 4 cap. This may not be a 4 cap like way up in here yet, but I'm assuming that eventually it will be too. So just know the point is that when you're looking on Google Maps, just know that some areas around like metro areas right here, like might be extending, their cap rates might be super low, even like in certain areas. So I can imagine like from Chattanooga to Atlanta to Athens, you know, this whole area right here, which is like this booming area. Obviously, for some reason, Atlanta is growing north and it's not really growing south. It does not grow as much. Now it's growing south, but not as fast. And so cap rates in like this area are super low. Okay. And so just think about the area in your state. So obviously, if we look like, let's say, for instance, in Alabama, and you have really Huntsville, Birmingham, Montgomery, and Mobile. Mobile is growing, but it's not growing like it's definitely not a 4 cap, 5 cap, maybe a 6 cap. I'm not sure. Yeah, but definitely like higher. I would say 6 cap or higher in this area. And outside of Alabama, easily you can find stuff for 7, 8, or 9 caps, you know, because I know, because my students are finding these. And so the country, like, you know, some states are better than others, obviously. So Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arkansas will have better cap rates than Georgia, you know, the North Georgia area. Now, Texas is booming. Everybody wants to move to Texas, you know, so you know, it's going to be more expensive in Texas than in other areas, you know, so just keep that in mind when you're looking. So just, you know, my point is that my VAs use Google Maps to find facilities that are on Google Maps and create lists to call and talk to owners. I mean, we called 60 people in this area and talked to many of them were owners. So their owners are answering the phone in these areas. And the truth is that like this area here, all the way to Llano, eventually, I'm guessing eventually from Llano to Austin, this whole area, like right in this area, maybe even down in this area, but this is going to be all just growing. It's just growing so fast. So think about in your areas where you're living, where you don't have to focus on primary market, maybe not even the secondary market, but where is your cities growing to? Where are they going to? All right. And then focus on maybe out here. So that's why I'm saying we're focusing on buying storage kind of in this area right here, because we know we can get a better price in this area, but we know eventually over the course of the next 10 years, as we hold on to this property, we'll be able to sell it at even better rate. Okay. So, and then another thing about Google Maps is all of the facilities that you find when you're looking online and you're going in satellite view. So obviously, let me get out of here. Let's go here, and then let's do storage near me in this site right here. And so then you see all these storage facilities here, but like, so for instance, this little town right here is called Kingsland. And there are a lot of storage facilities in this area that are not on Google Maps, right? So you want to be looking for storage in the area that is not on Google Maps, and see if you can find those owners, right? So a lot of storage facilities are on Google Maps, but a lot of them are not on Google Maps. And so you want to just kind of keep an eye. And I've driven through this whole area, but I can't remember where the storage facilities are that are hidden. But like, you know, you can tell, like, here's a huge storage facility. Here's a storage facility right here that's not on Google Maps, right? So this one right here maybe would be this might be a storage facility. Maybe not. Oh no, maybe it's apartment complex. No, that's apartments. Let's see. Well, anyways, as you get in and start looking, you'll find storage facilities that are not on Google Maps. And so that's what they're doing as well too, is exactly what I'm doing right now, and just going through these little tiny towns and looking for facilities that are not on Google Maps so that they can list those out and put those as potentials that they can call. Okay. And yeah, so Google, so this is what a storage facility looks like on Google Maps. It looks like long, skinny buildings. That's what it looks like most of the time, So you can just kind of, get in here and start looking around. Let's see, is there storage? Oh yeah, I think there is some storage right here. Is a storage facility right here? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like storage over here. If I remember correctly from driving, I think this might be a storage facility. But you see how they're kind of like long and skinny? Here's a storage facility right here that's not on Google Maps, right? So the question is, and I think I talked to this owner, actually. I did talk to this owner, and he doesn't want to sell because he owns like this automotive business right here. But you can come over and then like drop yourself like right in front of it. And then you can just go check it out and see what it looks like. Let's see if we can figure this out. Let me see. It's kind of hard to get like back all up in there, isn't it? Can't really tell. Sometimes you can, when they're hiding behind buildings, it's a little bit harder to see. Can't really tell where it is, but it's probably back there somewhere is where it's at. I dropped over here. Maybe I need to drop over here. Let's go back over here and drop on this side, see what this looks like. This is a mobile home park right here. Oh yeah, it's across the way right here. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So here's a storage facility that's not on Google Maps. It's rather large actually. And I did talk to the owner, and he didn't want to sell because he owns this like mechanic shop over here. And this is just kind of like his one business. That's like his bread and butter and stuff. So, but yeah, this is not on Google Maps. So essentially what they do is they find these types of properties, and then they put them on their list. Okay. And so that is, that's another way to find properties, is the hidden market. I wanted to pull this up and write this down. Okay, so let's write down a whole bunch of ways for you guys to find storage facilities. I know there's a lot of newbies out there, and we had a lot of people register for this webinar. So I wanted to make sure, at least for everybody out there, they know how to find them, or what we do to find them. Okay, so number one is, let's see, finding facilities. Number one is hire Stacy's team. Number two is hire your own VA. And then number three is get on Google Maps and search storage near me and make a list of all those facilities. All right. Number four is search on Google Maps for the hidden market. It is time consuming to get and search on Google Maps. I mean, it's time consuming. I get it, right? So if you don't want to do that, then guess what? Hire your own VA. All right. Number five, or you can buy a list. Okay. You can buy a list. And then that way you just have a list. Now, the reason why we don't do this anymore is because, number one, we have VAs that can do this, but number two, sometimes the list should be as updated as possible, right? But the truth is that these storage facilities are changing hands so quickly that like sometimes the most recent data is like, not the correct data. But the truth is that even on Google Maps, it's not the correct data sometimes, so it's like, it is what it is, right? And let's see, then number six is, the easiest way, and the way that everybody is looking, but it's also the most expensive way, is going online, like to Crexi, LoopNet, or the MLS to find storage facilities. All right. Or the MLS to find storage facilities. All right. Crexi and LoopNet are basically like commercial MLSs for commercial property, right? So you can get in there. The one thing I really like about Crexi and LoopNet is that you could set up like email reminders. So if there's a new property that comes on the market, like it'll ping you and let you know. And I mean, we look on Crexi and LoopNet. And actually, I've never ever bought anything from the MLS except for my very first deal was from the MLS, but that was like 5 years ago when you could find like really good deals on the MLS. But we just put an offer in for one on Crexi or LoopNet. I can't remember which one it is, Crexi or LoopNet, whichever one. And so we just put an offer on that one. But it is a more expensive property. And so a lot of times, like if you're looking for $1 million or less properties, it's a little bit harder, especially on like Crexi and LoopNet to find property. So it's like it's a lot of times you'll find like the bigger deals, or maybe a little bit. If you can spend a couple $1 million, then you might be able to find like a better deal out there. Okay, but Crexi, LoopNet, and the MLS, you never know. You should be like using all your avenues to look at properties, and we do. The first time ever in the last 5 years, we put an offer on, I think LoopNet, but I'm not sure. Okay. And let's see what else. Okay. And then also another thing is Craigslist, is utilizing Craigslist. Okay. And nobody really thinks about this, honestly, but I have had several students in Storage Nerds find properties to buy from Craigslist. Okay. So Craigslist would be a great place for you to list your property for sale, and also to, especially if you want to do for sale by owner, and then also to look for property. So then you'll have to, but that's like, it's a lot of work too. Actually, now that we're thinking about it, I should get my VAs to be doing this, right? That's a good idea, VA. Okay. So I'll let Chris know to have our VAs look on Craigslist around the country and just see if there's any storage facilities for sale, right? Which everybody else can do as well too, right? So Craigslist is a good place to find storage facilities. Okay, good. I see a whole bunch of questions here too. Let me see, let me pull everybody's questions up and we'll answer those as we go along. And if you guys can think of any other ways that you look, right, for facilities, let us know in the chat so that we can all, share our ideas and stuff. Crexi, LoopNet, MLS, Craigslist. Okay, good. Okay, so let me see. We have Sadie saying, what about using a company like BizQuest. Sorry, it's like breaking it up. BizQuest.com, which I've never heard of. So maybe this is a good site. I have no idea. BizQuest.com. Has anybody used this? So actually, that brings up a very good point. Is there are websites out there that are like businesses for sale websites now. And let's see, businesses for sale. So you can go on to, you can go online and then search businesses for sale, or and then go to these types of maybe this is what BizQuest is, I'm not sure. And then every once in a while, you'll find some random storage facility that's like for sale by owner, right? It's just for sale by owner, and it's listed on some, bizforyou.com or something like this, because the owner has no idea where to list it out or anything. Okay, so that's good. Yes, okay, good. BizQuest.com. Check this out. Perfect. Okay. And here, I'll open it up and let me see. I'll open it up and see if I can. I'm not sure if that opened it up or not. I can't share my screen right now because I'm sharing my whiteboard, but at the end, maybe we could take a look at it. Okay. And let's see. Okay, so Larry is asking, how do you search for a hidden market? That's exactly what I just went over. The hidden storage facilities are the storage facilities that are not on Google Maps, but they are there, right? So if you're new and you haven't been on any of my sessions before, essentially the way that you find tenants one of the ways that you find tenants for your storage facility is by getting on Google Business Listing, right? Or Google My Business or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. They change names all the time. And so now when I just went onto Google Maps and we pulled up like Granite, whatever it was called, Granite Storage or whatever, that person took the time to go and get their business onto Google Maps. Getting your business onto Google Maps is not easy. It's difficult, right? It's very time consuming. Sometimes it could take months. They have to mail you a postcard. It's like this, they have a code. You have to fill your profile out. And somebody that doesn't really know what they're doing, which there's a lot of people that own storage that don't know what they're doing, then it would be like horrible. So, just like me trying to like start my fund, I was like, I'm going to start a fund. And then I just like took 4 months and I never did anything except for just trying to figure it out, right? The same exact thing for a storage facility owner that doesn't get into Storage Nerds, doesn't have anybody to help them, to guide them through the process and show them what to do, hint, hint. And so what they do is they, try to get on Google Business Listings, but like it just takes them forever to do because they can't figure it out and stuff like that. Okay. So those people still have storage facilities. They still have businesses. They're still getting tenants maybe by the sign that they put in their yard, or in their whatever yard, their lawn, but like the real way to find storage, to find tenants is to be on Google Maps, because essentially Google Maps is the fastest growing search engine in the country. Just think about it. If you want to go someplace, I just opened up my Google Maps app and I just say like, restaurants near me, gas near me, HEB, where's an HEB near me? Where's my vet? Where's PetSmart? Right. And that's all I'm doing is like nearest PetSmart near me. I need some food for my dog. All right. The same exact thing for storage. People are searching storage near me. So if you're not coming up on Google Business Listings, then essentially like you're not managing your property properly, and you're missing out on all of that activity. And so because tenants find storage facilities based on, it's basically convenience, location, and price, right? That's really the two key factors, location and price. Like they want their stuff right next to them, and they want it to be a cheap, they want it to be like at least affordable, not cheap, but like affordable. Okay. So that is basically, that's basically it. So on Google Maps, you can pull up Granite Storage and you can find their information. But guess what? If they have not gone through that process, they are not going to be on Google Maps. And there are many, many storage facilities that have not gone through that process, right? So, so search for those storage facilities, okay? What if the fee for you to find us a deal, what is the fee going to be? I'm not going to tell you. I want only lifetime members of Storage Nerds will be able to have access to my team. All right. So this is not for everybody, because I'm not going to go out of my coaching program. So if you want help finding a facility, you must join my coaching program, become a lifetime member, and then hire us as a acquisitions team to find your property, right? So it's not, I don't know what the price is going to be. The price is going to be based on like how long have you been in the coaching program and stuff like this, so. But and also another thing is that the doors are going to open to Storage Nerds May 1st. All right. So we only open the doors 3 times a year. So the next time is in May. And then our boot camp, our 2-day boot camp is also in May as well, too. Okay. So essentially you join the coaching program, and there's different tiers, there's different levels of it, but you join the coaching program, you get to come to the boot camp, and that's going to get you all like, I'm ready to get out there and find me some storage facilities, right? That's what it's supposed to do. And then you stay in the coaching program, and then we help you and hold your hand, and you get some one-on-one coaching and stuff like that, okay? All right, and let's see, Stacy, at what minimum cap rate are we looking to buy the storage facility? I guess that depends on what the facility is producing on an annual basis. No, your cap rate, the cap rate is based on the market. Your cap rate is based on the market, okay? So, okay, the primary market, secondary market, and tertiary market. Primary market is typically 4 to 6%. Secondary is 6 to 8%. And then a tertiary would be like an 8+%. Okay. Tertiary is country in the middle of like nowhere. So even like where I'm out to like Marble Falls is like a booming city, honestly. It's a booming town in Texas. So Marble Falls, even though it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, it's like an hour away from the nearest Austin location, it still would be considered to me like a primary market. It's just that the primary market's like a little tinier primary market. Obviously, like Austin, Texas has a huge, big primary market. But if you have these booming towns of like, it doesn't matter even how big, 10, 20, 30, 40, if it's like growing and like, and there's a lot of times, because I was talking to a student earlier today when I was doing my coaching calls, and he was looking at a town where it's like a town where the growth rate is like 5+, right? It's just like growing so fast. 5+% means just like booming. But the town itself was like a couple thousand people, right? It's just one of those types of towns, which actually, if you study migratory patterns, if you study what's happening in the United States right now, a lot of people are leaving all these metropolitan areas and they're coming out to these little tiny towns because they can be virtual, and then they can find a house and live in a small city and you know, still be able to put their kids in school and work from home and afford where they're living and stuff, right? So this little town that he was looking at essentially was a couple thousand people, but in the radius of like a 5-mile radius, I think it was like 25 or 30,000 people, which is really not a lot. And but it was like 5+. I mean, people are just flocking to this area, and it's just growing, you know. So look for those types of towns in your mind. Start thinking about locations. People think that you need to have a storage facility like right around the corner from you, but we all know, especially my students, that you don't need this. What you need is you need a computer and a brain. That's what you need, right? So and maybe a boots on the ground person, you know what I'm saying? So essentially that is how the world is becoming, and you should take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Look elsewhere outside of primary and secondary markets for your best bang. Now, so, you know, so it depends on what market you're in, what area you're in. And now this is for income producing properties. Okay. Obviously, if it's a mismanaged facility, that cap rate don't work, right? Because mismanaged facilities, I mean, cap rate is based on the income that it produces, right? But if you have a mismanaged facility that's not producing the income, then obviously your cap rate's going to be like, you know, super low, and like, you know, sometimes even in the negative. I bought like -2%, you know, storage facilities and stuff, right, for the cap rate. So just know that this is income producing cap rates. And the truth of the matter is everybody thinks that like cap rate is so important, right? But cap rate is one of the factors of all of the factors, right? So one of the factors are exactly what I said. Like, is it a growing market, a declining market? Is it a stable market? Is it like, is there like, what is the, in a 1, 3, or 5 or 10 mile radius, what's the population of that area, and how many storage facilities are there? What's the total square footage? What's the population of the area? What's the household income of that area? So there's a lot of like demographics that go into looking for a storage facility, not just cap rate, right? So I've bought facilities that are like really high, you know, that are really high, like, cap rates and stuff like this that are in like, super rural areas and stuff like that. So, and I bought low cap rates and I bought it all. So just keep that in mind. Just that cap rate is one thing is what I'm saying. Okay. How can I find out which direction on the city is going if you don't know the area very well? Yeah, so start talking to realtors, because a lot of, especially commercial realtors, I'm going to tell you, commercial realtors, and I don't have that on my list, but that would be like, I don't know if it was number 10 or 11, but it was like one of them. It was like commercial realtors in the areas that you're interested in, okay? Because commercial realtors, they know what's going on. Like, they know what's being built and stuff like that. That's number one. Number two is if you go on to Radius Plus, which I was going to put down as a way for you to find storage facilities, or you can use something like Yardi. Yardi is more expensive than Radius Plus, but Radius Plus or Yardi will show you the storage facilities that are being built in the areas that you're interested in, like which ones. They pull that data from permits. All right, they pull the data from all the permits that are being pulled, and so they can show you where the storage facilities in your areas that you're interested in are being built, which areas, and like what's being built, like what type of permit was being pulled and stuff like that. So, and I did like I think we had Radius come and talk to the Storage Nerds mastermind. Maybe like a month or two, I can't remember, a couple months ago, and they did like a whole demo on Radius and how you can utilize Radius to find facilities. And then I've also done other videos on that. I think on YouTube, probably, I'm not sure. And then also Yardi came in, I think was last Tuesday that we met, and they did a demo on like how to utilize Yardi to find property. Yardi is a more extensive search engine. It's very robust, but it's a little bit more expensive to use Yardi. And then Radius Plus gives you a good kind of idea is what it does as well too. Okay. All right. And so Yardi and Radius Plus will also be good for you to learn where the city is going. And then also you can talk to the planning department. Okay, so talk to the planning department, talk in the areas that you're interested in, and they typically have a 20-year plan, honestly. If they have a 20-year plan, like we're buying right now in like the North Georgia mountains, and the Georgia Department of Transportation is building a byway. So that's in the plan, and that should be done in the next 5 years. And then we are buying a storage facility that's kind of right in that area. So it's going to be affected by this byway that they're doing. So that came from the Georgia Department of Transportation, and that's all public data. So you can also go to your state and look at the Department of Transportation. They could tell you like which highways are being built and stuff. So the planning department of the local area that you're interested in, and then also like the state departments can help you. Okay. As far as you know, is there any specialized storage facility software using technology? Yes, there's like a bazillion out there. We personally use StoreEdge, but there are a lot of property softwares out there that you can see. We have Storable come in and talk to the Storage Nerds Mastermind on a regular basis, and they give us an update of SiteLink, StoreEdge, and ESS and what's happening to those. So typically most of us, we use one of those three softwares, and that they are a regular guest that comes on and gives us updates on what's happening and stuff. And also with StoreEdge, I mean, we're beta users on StoreEdge because we've been basically with storage since like almost the beginning. When I started using StoreEdge, they had 3 people working for them. And so over the course of the last like 5 years that we've been using StoreEdge, essentially my husband has become this like beta tester. And so whenever they have this like idea, like, hey, we want to implement this, they'll get on a call with Pete and they'll run it by him, and he'll give his ideas and expertise on like how to really better the software, because we have 11 storage facilities in StoreEdge. And Pete is the type of person, my husband's the type of person to utilize like everything the software offers, right? And so storage has recognized that for us. And so they do get on calls with this on a regular basis and say, okay, we're going to implement this. What do you think? Should we change this? And Pete's like, helps them out and stuff like that as well too. Okay. All right, good. Let me see what else. Okay. The storage nerds, storagenerds.com I don't know. Can you please, Ariel, and see that? Check storagenerds.com. Okay. And check to see if it's working or not, because I have no idea. It should be working. I was just on it like just a little bit ago, but Ariel can check that for you. Okay. At what income range do you look at before you buy the storage facility? I personally, I'm buying for my fund. My fund is buying $1 million to $2 million or $1 million to $3 million property. So for me personally, that's what I'm looking for, is $1 million to $3 million properties. Now, I started out with $1 million or less properties, and typically most of my students, their first deals are going to be $1 million or less. The second deal could be more than that. But I do have some students that are like, no, I want like, $1 million or more. So essentially, like one of my students, I just talked to him earlier, and he has like $125,000, so $125,000, if you put it 20% down, I mean, that's an $800,000 facility, $800,000 to $900,000 facility. So think about how much money you can put down on an income producing property. And then you'll, at 20% down, and then you could figure out how much money you could come up with. Now, you could find a mismanaged facility for, a quarter of that, really. You could buy a mismanaged facility at 50% for $300,000, or you could buy, three of those if you want to. But so really kind of just like, it just depends on how much money you can come up with. And then, but a mismanaged facilities, you have to have private money because a bank is not going to lend to you. Okay. So the question that you should be asking yourself is like, how much money can you actually afford? All right. Number one. And then number two is, like the truth is, like when you get out and you're looking and on this list of all these things I'm listing out here, when you're looking for property, the truth is that you have no idea what's going to come across your plate. Your job is to talk to owners, as many owners as you possibly can, and to put offers in. And you have no idea which facility is going to be the first facility that works. It could be mismanaged. It could be income producing. It could be $1 billion. It could be $100, right? So get out there and just look and talk to owners. That's what you have to do. And then if it happens to be something that you don't want, then wholesale it to somebody else or partner with somebody else. I mean, that's the best part about commercial real estate investing, is that there's a lot of money. That's for sure. There's a lot of people that are willing to partner, and there's a lot of people that will buy your deal from you if you don't want it. You know what I'm saying? So, just keep in mind that you need to have an open mind when you're looking for facility. If you go in and say, like I talked to another student on my coach, because I do coaching calls on Monday afternoons, and essentially, like one of my guys, like lives in Florida, and he only wants to buy a storage facility in like this certain area. That's it. And he's like, this is my area. I want to be here. I want to be able to manage it. And so it's like maybe an hour radius from where he lives. And so obviously that is going to be a lot harder to find than like something that, if you said like, I'm open to Florida and Georgia and Texas, like me, well then, yeah, you're gonna have a lot more opportunities than if you say, I only want to be within an hour of my house. Well, then guess what? There ain't a lot of storage facilities around. Okay. All right. Let's see. My coaching program doors are open as of May 1st. And I will be taking calls. You need to get on the wait list. And then once you get onto the wait list, then you'll be notified that my schedule's open to talk to me about the coaching program. Okay. And the coaching program is typically $1,000 a month. All right. So you got to be able to afford $1,000 a month. All right. This is an investment. The lifetime membership is a different price. And then now my turnkey acquisition solution will be a different price. So we'll have 3 different levels, but just so you know, it ain't cheap. All right. This is an investment, and this is like, I know I want to buy storage facilities. I'm going to invest in this kind of a thing. Okay. Let's see. I have no experience investing in properties. I'm very new. Just recently joined the Triad RIA and have been going to their meetings. I have no investment properties in home buying. Is it more expensive for investors? What kind of money do I need to start? Okay, good. Yeah. So the truth of the matter is I'm 100% privately funded, and I haven't put any money into my deals at all. All right. I raise capital in order to buy my property. Right. So you don't have to actually have money in order to be like me. You don't. Right. What you have to do is you have to learn how to raise money. All right. And so y'all are all more than welcome to hop on my fund call. I'm going to go. I pitch my fund every Monday night right after this. So I'm about to get off and go and do that. You can go to stacyrosetti.com/fund, and you can see how I pitch to raise money, because my job as a commercial real estate investor is to raise money. And so let me stop this real fast so I can get out of here and I could say goodbye to everybody. Okay. My job is to raise money. So all I'm doing all the time is pitching and finding money. All right. Because I don't want to be limited to like 1 or 2 deals. Right. So you have to learn how to raise money. You have to learn how to find money in order to buy as many properties as you want, whatever that goal is. It could be one. If you only want one and you only have that much money, and then more power to you. But if you want to buy, 5 or 6 or 10, commercial real estate is expensive. It's expensive. It is not like residential real estate. Now, residential real estate is expensive as well, too, but it's a little bit different. Now, the one thing I love about commercial real estate is that people are willing to partner. People are willing to work with you. There's a lot of people that have money. So the goal for you is to find those people. If you don't have any money, you could either wholesale or you could be the boots on the ground person. I have a 21-year-old guy that doesn't have hardly any money, and he already has put like 5 offers in on properties, and he's partnering with other people in the coaching program in order to buy his facility, and he will be the boots on the ground person for that facility. And that is how he's putting in his equity into the deal, right? You can do that as well too. There's a lot of different ways to do this. All right. There's a lot of different ways. So your job is to make sure that you check out my course, which is the Super Simple Self-Storage, so that you can learn how to get started, especially right now, because my doors are not open to the coaching program. So buy the course, Super Simple Self-Storage. That's on my website. And then hop on the Monday night webinars so that you can listen in to me just like rambling on about storage investing. And also, anytime I do some sort of a pitch or something like that, just hop on and listen, and anybody can come and listen. I'm here to teach and hold people's hands and guide you and be there for you. Okay. So, but I do have to hop off because I'm going to go to the next session and go do my fund and hopefully I'll see you guys over there. Y'all can listen in as well. Okay. But I know y'all have a lot of questions, and also don't forget to join the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, it's Super Simple Self-Storage. And then all these questions that I'm not answering here, those questions should go into the Facebook group, and I can take time to answer those in there as well too. Okay. All right. I appreciate everybody coming, hanging out today and asking all the questions. And I will see you guys at the next session. All right. Take care.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Storage Nerds. Hope this informative conversation inspired you to go out there and jump into this highly profitable business venture that people rarely talk about. Get more tips on storage space investing at www.stacyrosetti.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and leave a rating. Together, let's build that thriving passive income one storage space at a time. Until next time.